Hello guys, and welcome back to another Legio IX Hispania replay. Guys, I've got a 3v3 4v4 for you today. What am I on? So, the 4v4 on the Steps map, I know you all like it. With on the Axis side we have I think that's meant to be Coldrum 683 as the Wehrmacht, Volkskurs as the Oberkommando West, K on big number as the Wehrmacht, IGXR as the Oberkommando West. We have Aima Emerging Yeti here as the Soviets, Aima Head Mantis as the US forces, Zeva Risky as the US forces, and Zeva Chaplin as the Soviet Union. As we see, the levels are definitely in the Axis favour right now, but we'll see how the game goes. I think I'm going to start off looking at the Allies' angle of play. Okay, so let's go through doctrines that people have picked. So far, Coldrum, as the only Wehrmacht player on the team, has gone for the Luftwaffe supply doctrine with the airdrop medical supplies, supply drop zone, reconnaissance overflight, incendiary bombing run, and the Stuka bombing strike. We go over to the Allies team. Chaplin has gone shock motor heavy tactics. I really like this doctrine. Two things. One, the shock troops are nice. The armor vehicle detection is also good, finding out where enemy armor is in the field. Conscript repair kit is amazing. You don't mean as the Soviets, you don't have to keep on building those crappy engineers. And the AL2 bombing strike, oh my word, it will destroy any tank if it gets its payload off on it. And the IS2 assault run is a beast. Risky has gone for the Rifle Company with the EZ8, the Flamethrower, the Fire-Up Rifleman Flares, which are good for the range, and the White Phosphorus Barrage. Many people forget about the Rifleman Flares, but you should definitely use them as the Americans. Head Mantis has gone for Heavy Cavalry Command. Sorry about that, guys. And he's gone Rifle Field Defences, Off-Map Artillery Barrage, Rangers, Combined Arms, and the M26 Pershing. Yeti at the moment, not picking his doctrine yet. So we'll start the early fight. We'll have a look on the right side. There is an absolute cluster. Yeti should be getting out of that engagement, and he knows it, because there's no way he's going to win a close range combat against two Volksgrenadiers and a Sturm Pioneer. But I know why he's staying in this engagement. He wanted to try and kill this Sturm Pioneer. He's got everything targeted towards it, but he's not going to get away with it. And it looks like he's going to lose that engagement, I believe. As there's a lot more dead Soviets. Two Volksgrenadiers can happily take out a conscript squad. As you can see, the shots are going to start piling up. So look on the left side. There's a pretty heavy fight going on between between Chaplin and the Oberkommando West player on the left, who is Con. We're just going to call him Con. And those Sturm Pioneers are just going to slowly wreak havoc on him at close range. You're trying to get away from it, but there's no way. And there's an MG42, I believe, here from the Wehrmacht player. Even that's good. That's holding that star. So Chaplin's not going to have a fun time pushing that. However, the good news is they have secured the middle fuel point. Risky has secured the middle fuel point with Mantis, and Mantis has successfully secured this capture point here. And fortunately, they are not winning the capture point war. However, let's see how. However, there is a Maxim coming in from Yeti, so we'll see how that turns things around. Left side, Chaplin's still making a good go at it, but he needs to understand that he needs to give up the left side or do a heavy flank, which actually Risky is attempting to do on the MG42, but he needs to be careful. He needs to rush that MG so quickly that it doesn't get time to either one, turn around and start shooting him, or to last long enough for the nearby MG42 to survive support. And there's got a Kubel wagon in there as well. So he should now start focusing his attention to Kubels, because those Kubels are going to start doing a lot of damage to him. There's a big fight going on here. Behind cover, the rifleman should be able to happily take on some of these Kubel wagons pretty nicely. However, he is going to get flanked by a... Oh, that's a friendly conscript one about. Yes, there's a conscript from Chaplin's going to get in there and give him an hand shortly. But as you see, there's just enough. There's too much enemy support coming in that one conscript squad, so it's not going to be enough. Oh, with the reinforcement of some more riflemen and the flamethrowers and some good shots of going across that negative cover, it's very possible. You need to be careful though, because going across that heavy cover is a very dangerous thing to do sometimes. Especially going close range against Sturm Pioneers isn't going to be a good thing to do either. Need to be careful. Get off, like he's staying on that heavy cover. That heavy cover is not going to help him at all. And with the introduction of the Maxim on the right side, Emerging Yeti is going to be able to successfully take that point and surround these Volks Grenadiers. On the right side, however, the Axis have prevailed once more, and these two are really struggling. I know there's even mines being placed now, so they need to keep. Personally, I would divert all. Personally, I would start thinking of getting Mantis to focus on helping Yeti on the right. These two focus on, the fuel center here instead of pushing this point. There's just too many troops coming in here, and there's even fighting for the fuel now as well. So you need to be careful. This rifleman squad can be used at Mantis to help out, but he's microing elsewhere at the moment, I believe. Yeah, they're doing a good job here. Single-handedly managed to push the Axis back on the right side, obtaining the second victory point they need. However, they need to be careful they do not lose that fuel point in the just below the center star. There we go. There's some mines being placed. I don't see why I get the mines, I really do, but he's not going to call anything that's going to come through here. If you put it here, put it here at the crossroads, that'd be good. So center, there's a big firefight going down in center. Mantis trying to build a fortified position here, but they need to make sure you need to get these riflemen in there, or they're not going to be able to win that engagement. Don't know why I would get in that. It gives him heavy cover, but he needs to get in there and start doing things. One flame grenade will kill a lot of them, and that's what he's going to do. And that's going to really hurt them. Left side, Maxim machine guns have been called up on the field, so that's going to help quarantine this area. And Yeti's doing a very nice push and managing to capture the enemy munitions, which means both sides will have. That means the Axis will have no munitions right now. However, it's looking like the Allies are getting pushed back on the centre fuel, though. There's an MG42 has been brought into the field as well, which isn't looking good for the Allies right now. And pushing an MG42 from two different angles would work nicely, but when you're pushing it from the same angle, it's just not going to work. That mortar, however, is going to be useful at trying to take out that MG. But you're going to have to be very careful. As you see, the Axis is going to recap that pretty nicely, and the MG is being turned around to deal with the right side. Grenade, though, if risky for a grenade there, it would be very good, but he doesn't believe he has grenades unlocked. The more troops are being, however, reinforcements are coming down pretty heavily, and there's an infantry support on that hill doing great overwatch. However, good use there, and again we have another derped out. We had another derped out army there. I'm just going to quickly turn my steam off, real quick. There we go, because I don't want to get loads of steam messages. So if we look on the centre still, I believe, yes. Chaplin looks like he's been pushed back on the left side over here, as you can see. But Yeti's been able to maintain a strong position on the right side, and 2 stars have been done, and both munitions. So they do have the supremacy really to push the enemy back at the fuel point, but their forward headquarters is relatively close, so and there's a bunker MG coming up here to stop the flank on that MG. So there needs to be some serious artillery brought onto the field soon to try and deal with this. Either that or a big flank by Yeti on the south, which is possible. There's not much there apart from an MG34, but the MG34 personally, it's a nice position, but I personally think it would be better if it was in this building here. Like he's trying to push. Those Kuba wagons are doing a great job. Double 1-star Kuba wagons, doing a good job. They hold both stars, so they are going to start winning that victory point war. And however, big no there from Chaplin. Yes, there we go. He started to make the mistake. He didn't want to clump up both of them together. It's not going to work. But there's no point sending infantry into that. It's just not going to work. Big push on the left side here by Risky as the Americans, which can work. This can definitely work. And he is going to be able to push and flank the MG, so they should be able to go. But you need to be careful that because the Panzer headquarters is going to be built there, and if the Panzer headquarters are able to be built there, it's going to cause a lot of problems. It should be focusing, all fire they have should be focusing on that Panzer headquarters, not on that MG42 right now. And yes, seeing it being built, and rocket launchers, grenades, anything you can have, it needs to be shooting that right now. But they're not shooting it. He's just not shooting it. He's trying to push, but he's shooting at the infantry. This thing needs to be killed. If this thing's not killed, it's going to hamper them massively. He finally sees this, and I believe, yep, they are going to manage to kill it. I'm not sure if that was a kill or the enemy guy, the Axis player who was building that, realised I'm going to have to retreat it to stop losing all my resources. I'm not sure. You guys will know that more than I will, due to the fact. Nope, he lost it because he's only on 71 fuel. Yeah, he's definitely lost that. It's a good job there by the Allies, stopping the enemy from building his Panzer headquarters. That means it's two things he hasn't. That means the Axis haven't been able to lock down this point. And two, arms going to take a long time. That fuel, that smoke I get, but it's going to give them a cover advantage as well. This Su-45 should definitely be calling artillery fire on this area. There is a flamethrower as well on the field as well. She's doing a good job. Su-85 trying to kill those Kuba wagons. Yeti starting to divert troops to the centre, I believe. Let's have a look at his army. He's doing a decent amount of conscripts. That Su's going to have to be careful though. He's going to start taking anti-tank fire. There's two infantry support guns onto the top of this field here that are doing a great job at the top. They are just constant artillery. That 120mm has been brought way too close to the front lines. There we go. So there's some heavy mortar stuff coming in. They don't own any fuel, but they have managed to bring out more armor, and they've actually severely crippled the yellow Axis player by killing his base. So it's going to take them longer. However, supplies coming in here, maybe for the yellow player. That would be my guess for a Volkscom. That would be great for Volkscom to do. He's ends up with an infantry squad to cap that, or it's going to be the blue player to cap that. I'm not sure if it was the blue or the yellow player that didn't get his base set up. So it's a good job. Wehrmacht player helping out Rail Team player, giving him the fuel there that he needs to help get his base up real quickly. Only cost 200 manpower, so it's not a major hit for the Wehrmacht player. He can afford to do that. That's what the real reason. That's the real reason why that should be used. It's a great thing to do, especially when there's only one Wehrmacht, especially when there's 3 over commando on your player. Having a supply drop zone doctrine for a Wehrmacht is very useful. A lot of early armour coming on for the Allies now. We see 2 Stuarts and a Su. So there's going to be a full armour offensive in the centre here. But be careful, there is an AT gun. And an early game Stucker. I don't know why they've done this, so let's see where this is going to be shooting. This can actually do damage to early game armour, I believe. Yeah, it did a bit of damage to that. Half health on the first Stuart. Where's the second one? I don't know. Big push coming on the left side here. Go with the Stuart, it's going to do a good job with Risky there, pushing that. But needs to be careful though. It's cut off both fuel points. It's been decapped, so they decided it's too heavily fortified in the centre, so pushing the left side. However, this Panzer Grenadiers, and he does have enough fuel to upgrade them, and he is doing that. If they can survive long enough from that Stuart fire, they're actually going to be able to kill that Stuart pretty nicely. They are only 30% of the way levelling up for Panzer Shreks, and if they get Panzer Shreks, that Stuart's going to have to deal. If you ever see unarmed Panzer Grenadiers and you bring an armour, you need to just automatically assume he's upgrading them. However, there is enough allied infantry there to probably stop them from doing anything. However, this MG's just started turning itself around, and the infantry's not focusing on the Panzer Grenadiers, they're focusing on the MG. The one shot missed, the butt's suppressed, so he can sustain this fire a decent amount of time. But he's gonna have to retreat. Just too much there. So they have managed to secure all 3 points right now, so the Allied players are doing a good job. Axis players very fortified in the centre. A bit too fortified, they've got all the troops dispersed. They should give the left side and the right side a crack. Personally, starting to deploy troops quite heavily on the right side is what they need to do. Pushing back this Soviet defense and capturing this point. Personally, if I was the Soviets, I would start setting up a couple more of these sandbag fighting position points, because there's going to be an assault eventually, I would presume. So anyways, because especially Green players has completely abandoned the right side, which is not what he wanted to do. He's against the Soviets. The Soviets are one of the least defensive factions in this game, in my opinion. They can't build any bunkers or anything, machine gun bunkers. And if he went to Dushka, yeah, they would be very defensive then, but the Dushka, he's not a Dushka, he's not the Lend-Lease. Mantis needs to retreat that. If he gets a Panzer Shrek off, it's bye-bye Stuart. He just got it out of there. But if Ken Bethel is getting some nice hits on it. and there is a lot of. I know controlling 3 points has an advantage. However, they're being very. However, they're not going to be able to hold this, unfortunately. And it looks like they didn't even. Oh, sorry, they didn't even connect the point. This needs to be connected. Oh, they're not getting anything out of having this fuel for this long. They own this entire side. They need to capture that point, or they're not going to get anything out of it. And now the Allies are now the Axis have started pouring more troops, and it doesn't look like he's going to get much out of this fuel point at this rate. A lot of troops are injured. They're not going to be able to hold it for much longer. The only thing holding them back is now the Stuart, which it doesn't take long for Panzer Grenadier squad with Panzer Shreks to get down there. So at least now they've got the fuel supply running up and back. Mantis has a lot of fuel. I don't know why he hasn't built a major yet. A major is what he needs to do right now. Not Rangers. Mantis needs to get a... Let me have a look. Find him. Nope. Yeah, get a major. Get a major out straight now. Get it out right away. So 120 fuel, I believe, for the major, and he has the fuel right now. He has 200 fuel. He's hoarding that crap. Chaplin 152. This is the Soviets starting to build some. He's starting to build his base up to get some tanks out. Should we get T-34-85? However, this is the only problem with not having the early game armor advantage or early game. It's the only reason for having no fuel and having early game armor. There's now a Panther on the field, so there's going to have to be some serious AT coming out to deal with that. Maybe some conscripts with some anti-tank grenades would be useful as well. Destroy the engine, make it not as mobile to respond to places quicker. You don't kill it. White phosphorus, personally, right? You know everything is up here, so a white phosphorus at this point here would be a lot better than down here. White phosphorus here didn't do anything. It's just a waste of 120 resources. Didn't help the team at all. Down south, 2 Volks Grenadiers are going to try and push this point down here. No MG, there's no MG here, so the only thing stopping them is a Sioux. And a Sioux's on a very... The Sioux can only kill infantry if it's in its assault position. And there's going to be a Panzer Shrek, #1. And there is Volks Grenadiers closing in on that thing quicker than I can say Yahtzee. And all it requires is 2 more of these, and watch, there's a second one. And a third one that will be coming very, very shortly. He's going to get a shot off very soon. Still not shooting yet, don't know why it's not. Needs to get that shot off, there we go, third one, will this kill it? It's within an inch of life. Bringing in a third one, a fourth one, but the T-34-85 from Chaplin has just managed to save it. However, that Panther is... No, where is the Panther? Has it been redeployed? Yeah, it's been redeployed to the left side to try and hunt this thing down. I believe it's killed... No. I would have gone and flanked the T-34 with it. Instead, he's got a massive wrap round just running through the centre here. Ah, nah. He's heading for this... No, he's not. Is he? I don't know what that Panther's doing. Another T-34 out. So 2 T-34-76s by Chaplin getting some armour out on the field. Very good. Going to be able to hold that left side now with the conscripts. However, he has got orbital darting with upgraded infrared STGs. So at least now you know that he's going for that infrared. So, oh, I didn't see what the other active player has gone. So, breakthrough doctrine for Volks, fortifications for and special operations. And Yeti's gone mortar coordination with the T-34-85, guards rifles, mortar, and the mark target, and the vehicle group pair. So, an overall good doctrines there. And not a single person has doubled up on their doctrines, which is great. The one thing I hate is seeing 3 Ober Commando West going fortifications doctrine, or 3 Ober Commando West going breakthrough, or 3 Ober Commando West most of the time going special operations. The Command Panther's good, but you don't want all 3 of the guys having the same doctrine. It leaves you very open to certain points. Like, the big thing about the special operations is it requires you a lot of fuel and a lot of munitions to do it. So if they know that, they're going to have to seriously start. They don't have the munitions, you see. So this guy's probably going to be struggling with his upgrading his STGs. Using the infiltration grenades he can afford. They're only 15 munitions, and it's just those and also artillery fire. So he can't really use his infrared and much, and he needs to be very careful because they cost a lot of money. I believe that was an incendiary run that was completely off target. However, it probably will kill the squad on the retreat. No, it doesn't. Does it just get away? No, it doesn't. It gets sniped by a G44 from the Panzer Fusiliers. That's where you got to get those out there. Very good unit sniping. There's an easy 8 now by Risky on the right side of the field. Pushing with his bazookas on this MG. Really, he's not going to do much, and especially that Panzer 4's coming into the field now. You need to target those bazookas on heading that Panzer 4. And that easy 8 is just 2 damage, not going to be able to do anything. Moving the Stuart in, however, is a suicidal move when it's Panzer 4 on the field. Good job he's getting that out of there very quickly. Infantry's been healed very nice. A lot of recon by the Allied player. And even calling in a supply drop zone here is very risky indeed. But luckily the Allies aren't paying attention about that. And I don't know why Risky's doing this, but he's pushing in with his Easy 8 on half health. Panzer 4, an Easy 8 is better than a Panzer 4. I'll happily say that all day long. But a Panzer 4 can, a Ober Commando Panzer 4 with the upgraded side skirts with it, which has default now if it's an Ober Commando player, can easily beat a half damaged Sherman Easy 8 because it still has the same armor as a Sherman. T-34's running ragged on the left side here, not much damage. I would say one of them's been pretty badly damaged actually, sorry, by the Panzer Shrek here. Gold is that a Katusha? Where is that Katusha? Because wherever that Katusha is, it's just done a great job in pushing them back. And it might even kill this one this time. Yep, kills the squad there. Kills the... Yep, it's doing a good job. Panzer 4's coming in now, so unfortunately this T-34 is not going to live the light of day. See, Conscript does have the AT grenades and did a good job and hit it with the AT grenades. And even though this Panzer 4's been badly damaged, but that Panther's going to come in to save it. So Chaplin needs to get his armour out of there a presto as soon as he possibly can. And that thing's blitzing for it as well, and that T-34 is not going to survive. But there's not enough infantry to support, so unfortunately they have lost on their side. Main priority now is get that Katusha out of there. I believe Risky is sending support on the left side with his Easy 8. It's finally been healed. It's taken him long enough to do it, but he's done it. We have a T-34 85 by Yeti, so some serious armor coming out by the some really heavy armor coming out here by Yeti. A couple of T-34 85s can really start making the Germans think twice about pushing with Panthers. Easy 8. It won't win the war against the Panther, but against that on its own. It needs some bazooka support. Does get a nice armor pen, however the enemy pens him back. And you've got to be careful. Panzer Fusilier, rifle grenade's going to come on this right now. Which, I believe, yeah, rifle grenade. Anti-tank rifle grenade, engine damage, needs to get out of there. Massive infantry true engagement going on here, but that Stucker is just going to... Actually, if that was placed a little bit more on the centre part, that would have done a lot more damage. He has 3 more rifleman squads here in the back that aren't just doing anything though. They're now going to start engaging these troops here, but again, that is a lot. This here is a lot more upgraded and elite than this, and this grenade is just going to be, oh, that's going to be devastating. He lost a squad of riflemen now, and needs to get the rifleman out of there before it gets pincered in between the two, and it's too late to retreat. However, good Katusha. I believe it's just going to be out of range though. Oh, hang on, it might do one more. Yes, actually, it does a bit of damage. It does a nice bit of damage to the enemy infantry here. Almost kills he almost kills the Panzer Grenadier with the upgraded Panzer Shrek, so it would have been great to kill that out, get that out of the way. If we look at the right side, that Panther's been marked targeted. Great use of the marked target there by Emerging Yeti. No, he knows when to use that properly. That T-34 is going to have a field day with the Sherman as well there. And the AT gun. That's how you use marked target. That is how you use that doctrine. Yeti showed excellent use of that doctrine there, and I'm glad I caught that, because that was an amazing job by the T-34 85. However, there is coming to an artillery strike, so that needs to get out of there straight away, which they're both doing. So it was a great use of the marked target there. It's relatively expensive, but it can be used quite a decent amount of time, and that's the best. That's the one thing Allies have in their favour. They may hit the Panthers and Tigers may be better tanks overall, generally than all the Allies tank, but that marked target makes it easy. It means a T-34 76 can pierce a frontal armour of that thing with marked target. It's really, really good, and it just makes it deadly to almost anything. AT guns, 3 AT guns shots can just pierce and kill a Panther. That makes it very deadly. However, there is still a heavy Allied push on the right side of the infantry. But I believe there's enough tank support there to push. I think Risky's focusing too heavily on the right. There's 3 people on the right side. Risky needs to be focusing with Chaplin to resecure a fuel point down in the south, rather than sending his tanks into an area they're not really needed at the moment. And because of this, it's going to get some Panzer. It's going to get one of each tanks. It's going to get Panzer Shrek, but luckily it wasn't because it had been damaged. The Panzer Shrek will not damage the engine. For any AT grenade or Panzer Shrek or any AT sort of thing like that that will damage an engine, the only way it will damage the engine is if the tank has been damaged a little bit beforehand. Like that Easy 8 there with the 1 star, that can be Panzer Shrek to break its engine pretty nicely. Big push coming in here by the Axis player with his Panzer IV. Panther's pushing a little bit too far out for my liking. That Easy 8 should be having a good time of taking that out instead of retreating. Main guns destroyed, and the bazookas from the American riflemen just put the cherry on top and killed it. Chaplin's mounting a very nice defense over here with his T-34s over here. He has an IL-2 precision bombing strike ready as well, which will do amazing work against the enemies over here. The Axis have gone very thin, but they're clustered in the centre. Look, there's a heavy artillery gun from the Oberkommando with the thing. It's a very good artillery piece. Nothing wrong with putting anyone on the map. The AT guns aren't needed here. It's like a massive hill fortress. It's alright, but you know what you're defending? You're defending this fuel. Great, they had the bottom fuel. And they had two capture points in the north. And they even have the capture point in the south now. But one Oberkommando player is trying to push the Soviet Guards rifles, but those rifles are actually doing a bit of damage to this Panther. However, now that heavy cover's gone, it's not going to do much. However, that's been marked targeted, and bye bye. The ram wasn't necessary. Yeti, I see what you're trying to do there. The ram wasn't necessary, and I believe you still damaged your engine. Have you still damaged your engine? No. Is it still? I don't know, but he did a good job there, and he killed the Panther very nicely. Was that the IL-2 precision strike coming in as well? Yes, the IL-2 precision strike has been called in over here. And I have to make a high-speed bombing run, but where did it do it? Where did he do it? I believe he did it over here. I don't know, but there's double Panzer Shrek over there. There's double Panzer Grenadiers with upgraded Panzer Shrek, so that's 4 Panzer Shreks. You take on any armor in the world in the game, pretty nicely. Another Panther on the centre. Axis tried to do an incendiary run, didn't do anything really. This Panther's skinny, it's absolute arse handed to it right now. Don't know what's shooting it. I think it must be all the yeah, it must have been all the bazooka. I think it was definitely all the bazooka. It just really hurt the Panther. And the Axis do not have much armor left on the field right now, as well as points. As you can see, the blue player is the only person who's got turquoise player is the only guy left that's really got any armor on the field. And with just a roll for the blue player, in my opinion, has been the best Axis, the best Oberkommando player out of the lot right now. Really, because he's done what the Oberkommando need to do: conserve their armor and only push when they know they can win. These Easy 8s can definitely win. Unfortunately, that Panzer IV's died now. The Panther's staying at a decent range because he cannot range an Easy 8 and it's getting some nice shots in it. But it's just too hot. It's just too late for the Axis. The Axis just don't have the armor left on the field, and they don't have enough time to save up that fuel again, because Allies own all 3 capture points and they only have 54 points left in the field. They're going to take one big push. Well, the northern point, the northern central point, and the Panther's dead, and there's not enough infantry there to support. See what I mean by the STG packages and everything? None of these Obersoldaten can afford the STGs due to the lack of munitions, which Yetis have monopolised the entire game, which has allowed Risky to get his bazookas. That's been able to kill the tanks, and been able to get all the upgrades, and be able to call in the L2 bombing strikes and the marked targets. You can't, personally. If I had to pick either the fuel or munitions, as an Axis player and an Allied player, I would say that as an OKW, I would say I would prefer the fuel. As a Wehrmacht Soviet, actually no, as a Wehrmacht American and British, I would say munitions, because as the Germans, you can get so many Panzer Shreks with all those Panzer Grenadiers. They can just rip through an entire armoured column with all those things. The British with the Piats and the anti-tank grenades, and the AT guns are pretty damn good as well. The Americans, the bazookas, It's just the munitions will win you the early game and give you the resources necessary to push heavily fortified points with your IL-2 bombing strikes, your incendiary rounds, your white phosphorus. These guys have used a lot of that this game, and that's why they're winning. And as you see, there's 3 points left. Even though that, how did the I must be saying this before I saw anything. Risky didn't catch it, but Risky must have either two things. He was healing his tank when he got killed by healing his tank when the crew got killed and the tank got remanned by an Axis player, or that was destroyed and got recrewed. I don't know how it happened, but it's quite funny. But it was about to get killed anyways with that 2-star, I think. So thank you for everyone for watching this replay, and thank you for the allies for bringing this sending to me. Thank you for Axis. Thank you everybody for taking part in this game. I really appreciate it. And I will show you the end stats. To thank you everyone for the support you've been giving lately. My last video has hit over 500 views now. That's the most views I've had on my YouTube video so far. I'm on that 89 subscriber. Let's try and make it 90, guys. If you really like my content, subscribe and like, and there'll be there'll be more content coming out in the times in the future. I'll try and keep my upload schedule to probably one every 2 days or one every day if I have the time. And as you see, overview points, the allies did a lot more. Yeah, the allies did more damage overall than the Axis. However, some Axis players did better than the allies player. Like I believe the Risky got the most damage, and then really overall those top 3 Axis players did better than the majority of the allies team. However, the Wehrmacht player, even though he was a team support with the fuel drops, he just didn't do it. He didn't participate enough to really get the damage in and do a thing. Where it's a lot more evenly distributed with the allies teams. Everyone pitched in very nicely there. We'll look at the graphs for the allies and Axis there. There's the army value, there's the resource flow, and the points held. Thank you all guys for watching, and this is Legion IX Hispania signing out. Bye bye.